All right, day three.
Day three. It seems like only yesterday. Day 4.
2 days ago, right? Yeah. Welcome everybody. Day 3 of your first automated AI system event. My name's Cody. I am one of the co-founders of Workflow Secrets, architect of SAM 1.0, and the co-architect of SAM 2.0. And it's been a lot of fun. This event is the very first event of this, and I imagine we'll do it again. But I wanted to celebrate SAM 2.0 publicly launching October 1st, 2024. And so that was the catalyst for this event.
Yeah.
And so I'm really grateful for you guys who have attended or signed up to attend. It's been a lot of fun.
It's been a whirlwind of opportunities and things that we've been putting together, and there's still so much more to come. But you can spend all your time. I've been doing software development for 3 decades, and you can spend all your time trying to make something perfect,
right?
And it never get out. So it may not be perfect. It may not have all the things in it, but man, we've got so much to come, and we wanted to share what we did have, and excited about what we do have, and it's extremely powerful the way it is. So
yeah, and I think it's worth noting that even just taking these core concepts and applying them, whether you're using SAM or another system, if you have these concepts, you can be successful. And so that's the ultimate goal is let's understand systems, and then I'll show you how to do it using SAM. But let's talk about what have we covered these last 2 days. Well, day 1, we talked about what a system is. It's a sequence of tasks. They're oftentimes found in our business, realistically through our life, right? And then we worked to define our real estate niche, the focus we have in real estate, or maybe a couple different focuses that we have that allow us to bring in our people, right? The people we enjoy working with, the people who we have just a great wealth of knowledge that we can share with them. And then we talked about member voice, or your writing style, and how understanding your writing style and being able to use it across all of your different platforms, whether it's social media or email or just how you talk to people, creates a cohesive experience for everyone,
especially when they meet you. Because if you're communicating with them by email or by text or whatever, and that cohesion is not there, as soon as they do physically meet you, then it's like, am I talking to the same person?
Yeah, and man, I hear this all the time, like, don't meet your idols, right? Because they're like, he was different in person. Well, that's ultimately not what you want. And so hopefully understanding your writing style allows you to do that. And we talked about the core strategies framework, the conversions, bringing leads into your business, operations, it's all about business operations, past client retentions, and then the experiences are technically interwoven in between all 3 of those. And that's how we build a world-class client experience. Then we actually went into the system and built out your very first lead magnet using a guide specific to your niche to help draw people into your business.
Making sure that those heads turn for the right people, for the right thing.
That's right.
And looking for that white car.
The white car, yeah. And then yesterday we took it a step further. The next step in the process is, okay, now we've got people who are starting to look at us. We can add them into a system, but we still need to make sure that they're serviced. And we can do that using the power of SAM for these AI-powered systems through what we call routines. And then we actually showed you guys how to build that new lead routine. And then we actually dived into implementing these important dates that trigger these routines to get started. So kind of the formula for success is we built a lead magnet, you post it to your website, you point traffic to it, whether it's through social or SEO, search engine optimization, making sure Google knows that you're out there. And then you can have them trade their details for the resource.
Right.
Once you have that, you just throw that contact into SAM, and you have these identified systems, a routine built, and then SAM does the rest for you.
Absolutely.
But we kind of need to talk about that contacts into SAM part. And so that's what we're going to be focusing on today. So we're going to be looking into how to seamlessly integrate AI through SAM into your daily operations, how to build personalized communications. And this is kind of a catchword that I personally struggle on our marketing materials to explain, but it's truthfully what makes SAM so powerful in my mind, because it's just something that no one else is doing. And it kind of makes me chuckle. I'm like, it's right there. But I'll happily build it into our system, and one of these days they'll figure it out. But these personalized communications drive that world-class client experience. They drive strong relationships. So now we as real estate agents only have to be good relationship builders, and most of the time we're people anyways.
That's what it is.
And
this is a people business.
Yeah. And so we're going to dive into that. Then you guys are going to launch your fully automated system. You're going to walk away with the tools to be able to create these routines, stack them with your lead magnets, drive leads into your business, and start handling them at a really high level. Before we finish, popular misbelief, I suppose, contrary to popular belief, a better way of saying it, you can still upgrade to VIP, and it's free, so you might as well. Now, what does an upgrade involve? Well, if you go to our event page, this event page right here, I'm actually going to pull it up this time because I had a couple people asking me some questions. So I've attached this to your guys's welcome email, and I've attached it to all of the daily replays. That's where all the daily replays live. But this is your event page, and it had a calendar link. It also has step 2 of upgrading to VIP. I tried to make it really simple for you guys. You click this, yes, I want to upgrade now. It'll take you to SAM with that special code that we have. And when you sign up for a 14-day free trial with SAM, it dings you into the system so that you can get all these extra exclusives. Now, we have lots of resources involved with this dashboard, so it's absolutely crucial that you spend a little bit of time there. But I want to show you guys what the VIPs are getting. So they actually have their own dashboard, and it has a VIP post event. You have some of the same resources because they were just included in the event, but I've added additional trainings for you guys. So this is a birthday routine that you can build out. This is the Golden Goose, creating a repeat and referral pipeline or business into your real estate through this concept. And then one of my favorites that we've been diving into, as well as, these are all the replays for both the live event and the post event. But is one of my favorites is this post-sale world-class client experience. Now, this is a training that I built after talking to one of my buddies who just generally did not have a great experience with his real estate agent. And it all of a sudden, I realized it came down to the fact that they weren't communicating with him. And so he felt like they ended the transaction and he was never going to hear from them ever again.
That unfortunately, that is a common occurrence. Agents, a lot of agents, not all, but a lot of agents treat this as a transactional only type, one transaction. They will, get the lead in, they'll do the listing or the buyer's piece, and then they go to closing, they sign off, and that's it, and yeah, it's going to be some time until the next one happens. It could be, 3 years, 5 years, 12 years, whatever. But you need to maintain that relationship so that they remember you.
And I get it, because we're busy people and maybe we don't have time to really invest in our past clients. They're not driving commissions for us, and so they get pushed to the wayside. But if you decided to invest in them, or if you leverage tools like SAM to invest in them, now you have an opportunity to continue to build those relationships. They're going to pay dividends because they're ultimately going to be driving repeat business. They're going to be driving referrals, and you can do some really cool things that actually drive commissions back into your pocket. And that's exactly what I dive into in this training. And it's by far one of my favorite ones. A little bit of a sneak peek about what you learn in it is you actually learn that you as a real estate agent, when they sign and close, you oftentimes give them a gift, right? A closing gift. Well, you can include some household items like, say, smoke detector batteries or air filters. And then you can also look at when do those need to be changed. Well, we can turn some of our outreach into opportunities to aid them in that. We can literally send them the exact pieces that they need when it's time. You know I need to send D batteries in 6 months. And so you can send them an email. Gives you a great convenient excuse to be able to do that. You can stack it onto what are called affiliate programs and gain a little bit of a commission. So there's some really cool stuff there. And the last thing, this is a training that you put together that I threw in there as a special thank you. Jimmy and Sally go on a grand adventure. It's all about, if you work with families and they have kiddos, you can build custom stories that entertain the children while you're working with mom and dad. And so that's another really great one. But all of this is part of the VIP on top of the 14 days of free training. So that's pretty awesome. And it can all be yours. All you have to do is go back to the event dashboard and sign up for VIP, and it's not too late. So you might as well do it, right?
Free.
That's right. So that is how we gain access to VIP. But let's go ahead and let's dive into what you don't need to be successful. I'm going to take it from the top. You don't need an MBA and you don't need a bachelor's in computer engineering to be successful.
Or prompt engineering.
Or prompt engineering. You don't need a big tech budget for multiple tools. Sometimes some of these systems, they're going to do a lot less, but they're going to sell you on the fact that they're using AI, but then they nickel and dime you, and you have to buy this product and this product and this product and this product just to get your single system to work. You don't need a 25th or a 26th hour of the day, and you don't need tools that are already built for automations. On top of that, today, you don't need systems that are already built and running inside your business. You can identify them using SAM, and we're going to dive into just how you do that. And also, you don't need a team of assistants that have high-level understanding of technology. They come from MIT or NASA or Tesla. You don't need those guys. You have the power to be the master of your technology. So I always enjoy, these are things you don't need to be successful. Let's just get those off the table. But today, we're going to talk about how do we integrate AI into our daily operations to be successful, right? So when we allow tools like SAM to take on some of these daily processes that we have, like follow-up, client reminders, scheduling, we're making sure that nothing slips through the cracks.
You don't, that's one of the worst things is thinking, you know, in the middle of the night, you wake up in a cold sweat thinking, did I remember to do that for that closing? You know, you get into the fear of things that you forgot to do.
That's right. And ultimately, when we have things slip through the cracks, this is the opportunity for our customers or our clients to go, maybe they're not the one to serve my needs. So let's never cast that doubt into them. Let's leverage tools to make sure that we have everything that we need.
Your problem?
The mic's just.
Oh, we're using that mic.
Oh, okay. Making sure you guys can hear us on audio. But ultimately, we can maximize our efficiency by building out these automated routines, especially inside of SAM, so we can focus on what matters. Building relationships or people, and closing more deals. Now, when we allow AI to do that, it's going to handle a lot of the repetitive tasks. It's going to drive that world-class client experience. We can do some really cool things. So today we're going to dive into these personalized communications, tailored messages inside of SAM, how sharing details like we did inside the profile inside a contact can allow SAM to understand information about them to really personalize messages. And then we're going to really drive home this point of a world-class client experience. When you build this, you're not just going and serving someone and closing a deal. Clients remember how you made them feel, how smooth the process was. So it's not just a transaction.
I have a story that I have told many times. I was making a trip down to San Diego and meeting with some agents and stuff there. And I am a steak and potatoes type of guy. So I went,
Midwestern born.
That's right. I went to a Ruth's Chris restaurant there. And from the time that I walked through that door, they were, polite. They asked me questions. Did I have anybody else? I said, no, I'm the only one. They seated me right away. The initial greeter introduced me to the waiter. The waiter then gave me or asked if I wanted recommendations, and just different types of things happened. And as I was enjoying my steak, actually there was even more to that. I as soon as the steak came down and was plated and put on the table, the waiter said, "Is there anything else I can get for you?" I said, "Well, I'd like to have some steak sauce." And he just kind of giggled. He goes, "If you wouldn't mind, try it without steak sauce." And it's like, "Well, I'd really like to have some steak sauce." He goes, "Just bear with me." He said, "The way we make our steaks, you may not need it. I'll get it if you want it, but otherwise." So I took a bite in. It was the juiciest. It was the most succulent. It was amazing. It's like, okay, don't need it. So, just that experience. But as I went through, I paid my bill and went on to my meetings. Well, I was there for a couple days, and on my way, whenever I got home, I opened up my mailbox, and there was a letter from Ruth's Chris. I mean, it was a card, and different people had signed it on the back and just thanking me for coming. And I have told that story. I have never been back to that restaurant,
right?
But I've told that story so many times that I'm sure Ruth's Chris has gotten some business from it.
That's right.
And that was the world-class experience. Once I saw what that was, it's like, everybody should be doing this. Giving that experience that is a story that goes along with it.
That's right. And that's the ultimate goal. They turned you into an advocate. Happy clients always help promote you better. And so why not lean into this world-class client experience? You were actually talking to a buddy yesterday, and he said something that I wrote a little note down, but it's so true to real estate. And it's either you can play the race to the bottom game, and you can try to really focus on being a cost-efficient real estate agent, or you can focus on driving a really great experience, and maybe you're not the cheapest, right? But now with tools like SAM, with the power of AI, you can do both. So
it's no longer a race to the bottom. Unfortunately, with all the legal challenges that agents have been going through with NAR, the NAR issue with buyer's agents, how do they get paid, all that kind of stuff. People are scrambling now to try to figure this out. And I still advocate that, you can continue to give high class service in whatever you do, whether you're the listing agent, you're the buyer's agent, giving them something that they're not getting right now, and giving them that experience that will make it memorable, the whole process memorable. And whenever it's time to do it again, or if they find if they know somebody else that's needing to go through that same experience, they will recommend you because of that process.
Yeah, absolutely. So now let's go ahead and dive into SAM, and we're going to talk about the community or the contact section. So this is the final step in the overall process.
Yeah.
So go ahead and dive in.
So we kind of reimagined some things, just knowing in the past how certain applications worked or didn't work, or had challenges. There's a lot of features and functionality that we've put into this, but Going in on the left-hand side, you go in under the contact section. It will bring up and list all your contacts, whether no matter how many you have in there. The main thing that you want to realize is that getting data into this is very easy. We have integrations for different things to bring those leads in. I do want to show you one piece, and I'm just going to. This is a piece where I just pull up a random. This is a random contact maker. I mean, it's got a bunch of information. Just imagine that if you're receiving information by email or whatever, and you forward this to Sam, or you manually enter some information into a note or whatever, and you want to be able to get it in here. So there was a lot of information about that contact. Maybe I just come in here and I want to do a smart import from a single contact. Now imagine this, and you don't even have to do this. You can just do it through an email or whatever, but I'm just going to paste that information about that contact. I mean, it's just a whole bunch of information, and then hit OK. So what it does then at that point is it says, okay, let's figure out information that's in this contact, and it goes ahead and just that quick. It does it. It puts in all the details of it. I can double click on it and bring up. So it took all that data, put into the system, and even made the birthday. It created the entry date, all that we were talking about yesterday. So these are the things that just in that one instance, if it was an email that came in, if you pasted it in, if you just typed in, maybe you took some notes and about a conversation that you had, and you had it in a document of some sort, names and address information there, you copy and paste that in there, it can bring that information straight into the system. Now at that same time, whenever it did that, it went ahead and ran the routines. It did the things that we want it to do. So we already have a birthday entry in there. We already have a the entry date, and we're going to show you where that is at in a second. But just to kind of give you an idea of what is built into this, names, address. Of course, you can go in there and type in the information manually if you want. We do have address, broken out into the street address, city, state, zip. We do have, and if you're running this on mobile, one thing that we probably didn't really show well is this is all responsive. So as you shrink up the screen, it readjusts everything. So everything is very responsive in its sizing and stuff. So no matter what screen you have, it's using up the information best it can. At the same time, maybe I wanted to, know where this location is and how to get there. I can click on the little address, and it pulls up all the mapping stuff, so I can then go through the process of finding a location and mapping to it and stuff. Phone numbers, if I wanted to call, if I want to SMS, if I want to dial the phone, or add that to the call list. Maybe I've got certain times when I want to do certain calls. That all can be done. So there's things that you can do with each one of these. If I wanted to email the contact, just clicking on the email and sending it. Or maybe if I wanted to send an email and quickly write some kind of message about this contact, I can even come in here and say,
send a happy birthday greeting.
Send a happy birthday greeting. Okay. So then it takes the information that we want to create. It creates the information. I can come up here and just click on the little merge, and it merges it right in. And I've got, so some of these C1, C2, these are some fields I didn't have all filled in for my profile. For actually, it's Cody's profile. We were doing some testing, so ignore that. But it fills in all the information and go along through there. I can then save that as a template if I wanted to use it later and be able to use it. Maybe I just happen to know this person, speaks Spanish. I can come over here, say I want to create a new translation and I want to translate it into Spanish. So then it takes the information that's in this email and creates a Spanish version of it. At the same time, it still retains the English version. So I can switch between them. I can, do whatever I want to use that, be able to send it, but still be able to understand it as well. So just some built-in tools there that makes life a little bit easier. So having these types of possibilities available to you is important. Now, I can come down here and I can say send now. I can also click on the little arrow and say, well, I just want to save this as a draft. Maybe I want to come back later and do some more with it, or I want to send it later. And then I can specify when do I want to send it later. And maybe I come here, I say, well, maybe tomorrow at
Noon 30.
Noon 30, whatever. So then it puts it into my outbox so that I can then process it at that point. Because it uses the merge fields, it would merge in that contact and it would do all the things that it needs to do. Fax numbers, websites, all that kind of stuff's there. The real crux of this is starting to collect data about the person. Categories, A, B, C, D. I know a lot of software has different categories for classifying your people. Are they an A person, a B person, whatever? You can certainly do that. Types, are they a client, a lead, a vendor? You can put those in there. The status, are they active, cold, hot? There's lots of different options here. Milestones, at what point are you with this? Maybe it's a they are interested, maybe they converted, just different options here. The important part of this is as these routines are set up and used, you can utilize these fields as conditions for when the routines will be utilized. Mm-hmm. I don't think I have the conditions turned on yet, making sure the Booleans all work properly, trues and falses and yeses and nos and all that kind of stuff. But that's going to be something that will be available to everybody very soon.
And that's something that historically, I know when I was working at the other company, the customers would ask all the time, oh, can I do Boolean logic, if this then that, or if that then this, and it sometimes
and or not,
and or it's all these weird complexities, but oftentimes there are things that happen. Now, another thing that I really appreciate about this that helps me is maybe we have been collecting lead information and someone reaches out to you and they're like, hey, I'm not interested anymore. Please do not send me emails. Well, do you delete the contact or do you still want to keep that information? You can go ahead and to the right of both the email or even of the phone number, you can click into that. And then on the 3 stacked bars, or you just click the number, what you can do is you can edit it and add them to a do not call or a do not email list. So this has been really helpful for me. Again, on occasion, I think I've received probably over the last year, maybe 6 people who have done that, but it allows me to keep someone's information in my database, but then also make sure they're not receiving notifications that they're not interested in.
Correct.
The other thing that I really want to focus in on is the contact preferences. Now, we touched on this during the routine building yesterday, but this is something that I get so excited about because this is part of that community or the customization. So I like to say, I'm a millennial, don't call me, right? If I don't know who's reaching out, I'm just going to assume it's a telemarketer. At this point in my life, my private information has been compromised so many places, so many ways, by so many companies. It's just always a telemarketer. So I don't really answer my phone unless it's one of my family members or someone I have their contact. So you could probably assume that I'll be responsive to email or text message. That's going to be my preference. And so maybe we select SMS. Well, now Sam knows, okay, that's the contact preference, meaning I as a contact prefer to be reached out through SMS. So when Sam is writing those messages for the different routine steps, if we have it selected to preferred, it can then convert that into an SMS and send it out, which is really cool to me.
Yeah, that makes this open up to a whole new level of customization for the person that you're communicating with. Now, software has been renowned or known for, being able to customize to your preferences, but what's important is your customer's preferences. What is it that they want? Make sure that that's there.
Yeah, and I think that it's it's kind of funny. Like we're messaging people, but it's like to you from me, but now it can be for you from me, right? And so I think that that's a really key distinction in my mind.
Yeah. Language, we do a similar type of thing where we got a lot of the languages that are in here. If it's not in here, it's not one of the top 10 of the people that are supplying that information on the web. So different areas of the country have areas or pockets of multilingual people, and we want to give them that ability to specify that. If they prefer it in a certain language, we can now take this information. So whenever I send that email to this person, actually in this case it would be an SMS, it would actually go out as English. Otherwise, maybe they want it in Spanish or Portuguese or whatever.
We've showed how to manually import one using SAM. Let's talk through the actual adding of a new contact. Now, the other way that you could bring in contacts would be going to that 3 stacked bars and actually importing a contact list. And this is pretty standard, using what's called a CSV, a common sheet value, source value.
Comma separated value.
So close. But basically, Sam's going to do a lot of the heavy lifting for you. Now, in my past, I've spent probably hundreds of hours of my life helping people bring in lists into their databases. And so the fact that Sam will look through some of these lists and actually say, well, this is their first name, this is their last name, and I may have thrown you for a loop, Mark, because I don't know that you had an example pulled in, but Sam is going to do a lot of the heavy lifting, which is really cool because it makes importing your contact list something that you don't necessarily have to go get specialized help to do. So see, Sam was able to read, oh, that's the full name, oh, that's the phone number. You can, on the bottom right side, you can click this next. If the sample data, you need to kind of scroll through. If it's an import that you're going to do often, you can always save it so that you can use that. Again, Sam's pretty good at identifying it, but just in case we had to make some tweaks, then you can load those up later.
This is really useful for if, as an agent, you have access to names and stuff through maybe the title company or escrow companies that give out leads and information. I've had a lot of agents that do that, or other applications that create CSV files, and we'll send them to you. Well, you can import one of them and then save that mapping so that then you can do it again and again and again.
Yeah, and then from there, all you have to do is hit import. So go ahead and close that. We're actually today with you guys going to walk through just clicking this top right new contact, and that's going to allow us to create a new contact. Now, the ultimate goal for you guys, like I said, we're going to bring in our very first lead, and it's going to be yourself, right? In this case, it can be Jimmy. Jimmy Smith. Yeah. And so now as we're building out this contact, again, we just start adding in as much information as we've learned about Jimmy Smith. And the ultimate goal when we're working inside of SAM is to remember we're trying to build a good relationship with Jimmy. And so as we're working with him, as we're learning these details, it's really important that you start trying to learn about him. And not only is this going to help Sam out, so that Sam can help communicate with you better, but it's going to allow you to build a deeper relationship with Jimmy. And so there's going to be some really important things. So Mark is going through just some of the basic contact information, getting in all of this stuff. But I want to actually dive into, as soon as he's got some of this filled out, the other different sections, because there's some really cool stuff that we have built in that really drive home how Sam is able to customize the content specifically for Jimmy in this case. Before we do that, the tags I like to think of as file folders on the desktop of our computer, right? They're my little OCD way of organizing, but they're really, really powerful because we can use them to help differentiate different lists of people. I have all of my past customers. I have all my customers. I have any what I call warm leads in a list. I have cold leads in a list. So you can build out these lists that allow you to talk to and to service other people more efficiently. After that, we have the important dates. And Mark, I'm going to let you dive into the important dates.
Yeah, so the important dates are just that. They are important, and they're important because we utilize them so frequently as part of the routines themselves and how we want to do things. Now, by default, whenever you first come in, it just shows you the main ones of entry date, when it was modified, a birthday, and an anniversary. I have the ability, I don't have it turned on, to allow you to pick which ones you want to show by default. But there's also a whole bunch, and you're able to create your own as well of dates. Now, we have some for us, for trial start date, trial end date, things like that. But you could have, purchase date, when did they become a VIP? I mean, just different types of things. But also, if you're using integrations with like SendGrid, we've got an integration with SendGrid and Twilio, which SendGrid allows you to send emails and track those emails very competently. And then also Twilio allows you to send text messages, phone calls, stuff like that. Those are real important. What will happen is whenever you send out an email, it will automatically fill in the dates of these items for you. So if they open an email, maybe they receive an email from you, they open it, and then all of a sudden that date will be filled in because you're using the SendGrid integration. That particular date field might be using something that automatically starts a routine and does the thing. So behavioral features give you now some capabilities that are unparalleled for being able to do different types of things.
And these important dates are what trigger those routines. Yesterday, when we were building our routine, we used entry date because that's when you add the new lead. It gives the date. It also gives the time. Now, the reason that you might want a time is because it can trigger specific things to happen as soon as it's created, or
5-10 minutes later.
5-10 minutes later, yeah. And just like you were saying, really cool thing from my perspective is maybe that entry date triggers another important date to be filled in. Well, that important date getting filled in can trigger another routine to start. And so these automations can start to start themselves because Sam is able to understand that. But then ultimately, we can focus in, okay, for my birth date, what is a world-class client experience that I can deliver my customers? Now I go build a routine, and anytime I find out someone's birthday, I can add it in. That routine's going to start for them. And I know that that routine is going to do a great job of handling them. What is my anniversary date? What is a world-class client experience for that anniversary date? And so I don't have to start thinking about all of the different processes and steps in the traditional workflow, because now I just have to focus in on these individual pieces of it.
What I'd almost call them is micro workflows.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're just the things that you want to do based off of getting some piece of information. And by doing that, then it gives you the flexibility to create all kinds of different possibilities, but you don't have to create this huge workflow with 178 tasks in them, in one big thing, trying to maintain that.
That's right. So this next section is the personal details. Now, I like to say personal details are your likes, dislikes, goals, hobbies, maybe some information about your family, but these are the details that you as a real estate agent, I guarantee, are already collecting. Maybe you're not actually recording them, but these are the things that come up naturally in conversation. I know that Mark loves space and astronomy, and he loves to barbecue, right? And so as I've learned these details, I just throw them in the personal details section. Now, the power in knowing these details is that Sam now knows them, and Sam can use these to help customize the content we make. So what I mean by that is perhaps when it's time to send Jimmy a birthday email, we can ask Sam to help by using some of these personal details. Well, now instead of saying like, happy birthday email or happy birthday, Jimmy, hope it's a great day. We did something, but it wasn't necessarily a world-class client experience. We can say, happy birthday, Jimmy. I know that you love to spend time at the lake. Hopefully you got to go out on the water this weekend, maybe spend some time with Cheryl and get some barbecue in. Oh, by the way, here's a $10 gift card to Q13.
Q39.
Q39. I've got the appetizer for you. I hope you enjoy your day. How much better is that? And you could use Sam to create that message. And all you had to do was capture and fill in these personal details. Now, at the system that I worked at before, you guys collected personal details, but you didn't do anything with them. And I like to say you're hoarding data and really housing it, and you're never using it. And so that was something that when I was building SAM 2.0, I really wanted to make sure that Sam was able to use the information that we're spending time building or gathering. And ultimately, this is what drives your ability to be a people or be a people person, right? And learn about people, work on building relationships, because they drive back into our system, and that helps us become the kind of real estate agent that can show up for them. Now, the next thing is your priorities. And this is something that we actually added recently because him and I were talking about this fact that, well, while I'm on a call, I might be learning things about a new lead from that lead magnet that I just sent them that are specific to the properties that they're looking for, right? And so that's their priorities list. So maybe they're looking for a 3-bed, 2-bath, 3-car garage, and at least 4 acres of land. I can just add those to the priorities list. What's at the top of their priorities for the houses they're looking for? Well, now Sam can also use that information. And if you guys remember back to that routine that we built yesterday, that second step said, let's reference their priorities through that objective that we built in. Let's reference their priorities and say, here's what I know you're looking for. Here's how I can specifically help you receive that, or I can help you find that, right?
So it really adds that personalization that has been absent from other applications. And, you can now do so much more just by having data that can be used in multiple ways.
Yeah. So after that, we have a notes section. That's just general other notes. Maybe they're not personal details. Maybe they're not priorities, but they are some sort of note that you have. That, again, Sam is able to reference all of this information as you go through. Now, something cool about the notes, if you added a website address, Sam's going to be able to pick up on that. And you can do some really cool things to ensure that you have that information readily available for you to use.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that is a good one.
So now it becomes a link. So it's your standard HTML, linkable emails, stuff like that can all be linked.
Mhm. And then the very last thing inside of your contact, outside of storing some files, is your connections. And this is a really cool one. Mark, we kind of touched on it yesterday, but I want you to do a full deep dive into this.
Yeah. So many times you're putting in information about contacts, but those contacts have friends, family, neighbors, things that people that are being referenced at different times, and you can put them into the database. But once they're put into the database, you can also connect them. So maybe I come here and I say I want to add a connection, and to this connection, maybe Bobby. Bobby is a family member, and what it's doing is it's saying, okay, there's Bobby's a family member. The reciprocal of that is family member. Maybe instead of family, let's say the father-in-law. And actually, that wouldn't be good for him. Let's say son. Lack of a better one. So you can put in there, so the reciprocal of the son would be the father. So, giving them the ability to link back to the person. So if I'm on the son's record, it would then show father as being the link back. You can put in some notes about it. You can say whether this was a referral or not, when it was the referral dates, and make that all available. But what happens then is now, whenever the record is put in there, Bobby is the son, I can click on the name and be able to get more detail and do stuff with him. So I might be on a call and be able to, see, hey, how's, Bobby? Oh yeah, he moved to another blah, blah, blah. You can just go in there real quick and make adjustments to any of the records that you're doing. So there's a lot of capability there. If they are referrals, you can come in here and say, well, just show me the referrals for this person. Give me a date range of when they were entered or referred and entered. So just gives you a lot of, and you can put as many different connections in there as you like. One other potential of this is if you've got it as a company, and that company becomes, you've got employees, and who's the employer, you've got that ability. So you can do some different connections very easily with that as well.
Right. And this also makes it really great inside of that routine, because when you have those connections built out, you can make sure that the content that's getting sent to any one person, maybe it goes to a spouse as well. And so we can really hone in on those specific things. So the last thing inside of the contact is files. Now we can just add files that maybe we need to add inside of it. You do that by, on the very bottom right-hand side, hitting the plus button. It's going to allow you to upload some files that perhaps you just want to store in there. But this is the guts of the contact inside of SAM. So let's go ahead and we're going to take a step back, and we're going to show you guys how this full experience comes into play. And I want to kind of walk them through. So we now have built in a contact inside of SAM. It has an entry date. If you guys hop over to your routines, you remember we built that routine yesterday that is using that entry date to trigger, right? And so now that very first one, it's going to be the new lead routine.
Yeah, it's not set for active, so
Sure.
It didn't do it automatically.
Sure. So that very first message.
But this one is, so
yeah,
this one actually doing.
Yeah, so that very first message, the new lead welcome, gets sent out. And the second message, because we had Sam write it for us, and because Jimmy now has some details about the property, it's going to get sent to the outbox. Now, the outbox, Sam's written it for us, and all we have to do is go in here, and we can look at all of our different tasks that we have. Now, at the very top, we've got all of our past due things. And after that, we've got our upcoming. You can filter that down by clicking that little 3 bars. So you can see right now we've got it 8 days. Maybe we want to see 3 days into the future, and it'll pare it down. Now, nothing really changed on that, but that's fine. You can also see what you've sent over the past days, and you can filter that. Right now it's set to see 4 days before. And maybe we change that to 7 days so we can see our last week, but it allows us to keep tabs on all of the different messages that have been sent. And then the last thing is, if we had a message that got sent to drafts, we have our drafts that we can quickly access. And so that second message got sent to the outbox. Now all we have to do is click into the message itself and approve that Sam wants us to send it, and we're ready to go. It gets sent, boom. And so that's how those routines work using those important dates.
Yeah. Whenever you have something like this, Jimmy Smith, I can come in here, I can run an action, and just click on run, and then it'll go through and do the process.
Just like that.
Just like that.
Cool. So that's the full process. So let's let's go ahead, and I'm gonna hop back over here, and let's kind of wrap up today. So day 3, and we are getting ready to conclude today. And I actually have something really special for you guys. It's kind of an offer for you, and I wanted to do something really special. Obviously, October 1st we launched SAM 2.0, and I want to make sure that you guys have the opportunity to gain access. You spent the last 3 days with us working in the system, watching us build inside the system. So hopefully you've got a good picture of what SAM could do for you. Well, if you decided to sign up, you would be one of the first agents to gain access to SAM. I like to think that it's the most powerful AI-based CRM out there, but it's designed specifically for you guys as real estate agents. Oh, and by the way, it's designed by 2 career real estate technologists, right? So how better can you get at that? We're not a corporate office that has 100,000 people and you're never going to get to a hold of any of them. You're never going to reach out asking for something and make sure that it gets added.
It's not offshore.
Yeah, and it's not offshore. Now, the other thing that if you decided to subscribe to SAM, we've got ongoing training. I have a YouTube page that I'm posting videos multiple a week, if not every single day. And I dive into little micro sections of SAM. I dive into little trainings, and I try to really give you guys the tools to be successful. We also are going to be hosting live events just like this, as well as workshops. And you guys will have an exclusive invite to all of these trainings, as well as ongoing guidance. Now, the other thing that you get is, of course, a system that is built to evolve with you. Now, this is really cool. Mark, you showed this to someone the other day, and I kind of want to draw attention to this. This is the brain of where SAM is headed. And each of these notebooks is like 300 pages. He has 5 of them. And this is probably the infrastructure for the next 5 years. Now, if someone were to say, Cody, aren't you worried that you're sharing your best stuff with everyone? No, it's because Mark over here has a vision for where the system is going. And ultimately, we want to build a tool for you guys that's going to grow with you. It's going to be using modern technology to help you be successful in business. My personal goal is that you end up retiring from real estate in 20 years, having continued to use SAM the whole time. And it's just helped you the entire time.
Yeah, I have spent so much time these last few months just doing brain dumps of everything that I know is important to the individual and team real estate agents, and helping them do their business in a much more efficient way, in an automated way, in an AI way. And just diving deep into what does that look like, and pouring them into a library of information that we can then draw from and be able to use for the development and going through. And each time we run into something, now I've not gotten to just parts and pieces to some of this, but a lot of this has been kind of a heartfelt, what do I really want for our users?
And this is where I pitch to you. I want you to build your dream system, and this is why I call it the love letter to real estate, because I watch you all the time. You're like sitting in your living room, just jotting down where you see the industry going, where you see technology going, where you want to take SAM. And that is exactly what you guys are going to gain access to. Now, I talked to you guys about a good call to action in all of your message. So this is my call to action. As a thank you for attending this event, I wanted to give you guys a secret special offer. And so for the next 48 hours, I've built out a special offer for you guys as a thank you for attending the event. And what we're going to do, if you decided to sign up to get a SAM account, the SAM 2.0, we're going to give you a 3-user account. It's a core agent account at the cost of our 1-user system starter account. Now, the reason for this is I want your business to be able to use SAM to be so successful that when you start to grow, your SAM account is ready to handle that growth with you. But it's only available for 48 hours because at the end of the day, I have to make some money too, right? So if you think that that's a really good opportunity and you want to take this, you can go to workflowsecrets.info/SAM exclusive. And this offer will be live for 48 hours. After that, it's going to go back to original pricing. You can continue to use SAM for the next 12, 11 days through that 14-day trial. And if at that point you have a better understanding, you know what, SAM is for me, you can still subscribe. Our prices, I have worked very hard to make sure are just some of the best prices in the industry. You're not going to find another product that is going to bring you as much, but also priced the way we are. And this is just a special thank you for you guys attending the event. But that's my my exclusive opportunity for you guys. So let's go and wrap up today with some key insights. What did we learn today? Well, we learned how to use AI in our daily operations, and we learned how personalized communications build strong relationships. We learned how adding those into our contact section allows SAM to help us drive this world-class client experience. You guys built your first contact with us, and hopefully you're able now to see how this routine gets triggered, how it gets sent to your calendar. You can either have SAM run these routine actions for you, or you look at the calendar, you can run the ones, you review your outbox for anything that SAM created, and then you have a fully functioning system. So now all you have left to do is, if you haven't followed along, you just have to go launch your system. And now
it's not hard.
It's not hard. And you have your first AI system. And that ultimately was the intention of this thing. So from here, what's next? Well, we do have a VIP section today. It's going to be immediately following. If you haven't upgraded to VIP, it's not too late. Go ahead and upgrade to VIP. If you are a VIP, that link is found on your VIP dashboard. You should have an invite as well. But I like to sweeten the pot. So tomorrow we're going to be hosting a bonus day. It's a bit of a Q&A section. We're going to have just what I call an open technology panel. Mark and I are going to be here. We'll answer any questions you have about SAM, about the technology, about where we're headed. Maybe you'll pick a random page and share some of your vision for where we're going. We're going to do that at noon Central Standard Time again. And I will send you guys an event link for that in the details section. But that's what I've got. Mark, do you have anything else?
Well, I think it's important to understand that, yeah, we're at the beginning of this, and there's going to be a lot of features and functionality that people are going to want. And the important thing about getting in early on something like this is you've got our attention.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got the ability to say, hey, Mark, hey, Cody, I really need this, that, or the other thing. Now, not everything would be accepted. It's kind of like you need to kind of think through this. But I know many years ago, whenever I was building another product that I had Real Estate Agent that was also a belly dancer instructor, of all things.
Wow.
And she wanted something in the software that dealt with belly dancing instructions, and it's like, I'm sorry, that just won't make the cut. But you know, there are so many things that, like I said, we've got just a ton of things that we want to make happen, and I really see this as being an opportunity for you as the user, but also as a
Boots on the ground agent.
an agent that really needs something that you can help drive where we're going. And I think that's important. You know, especially at the very beginning, there's just a lot of things that can be done. Which way do we want to go? Well, you know, if it's important to you, it's important to us.
Yeah. Awesome. So that is it for day 3. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. Your homework again is to get that system fully running. And other than that, we will see everyone else on the VIP section. And if not, I hope you can attend tomorrow. And I know it wasn't on your calendar, so hopefully you don't mind a pleasant surprise. But we will see you guys tomorrow, if not in the VIP section.
Bye, everyone.
See you.